she was probably the only person in the world who could have helped her brother, but she couldn't save him. And because she was being consumed by the vengeance, when she went into the ancestral plane, she didn't get to see her ancestors. She got to see Killmonger, and he was sick in the head. And he even said to her, I came for everyone. Do you want to do it like me? And she didn't want to talk about it because she knew that she did.
Vegeta is one of my favorite characters.
Shocked.
Yeah, I like the villains, innit? He's got a sick story. He's got something to prove. I can definitely relate to that. That's been me for most of my life. Look at, he looks pissed. You try and make friends with that face. He's already great and he doesn't believe he's enough. How many of us can relate to that?
Right, so better take the headphones off and put my headband on, because
headphones off, headband on. That's how we fucking
ironically
rolling.
today the headband has a double usage. Not only does it make me look cool, it covers up the plaster I just had to put on my forehead because there's a lesson in this.
We should start calling you Vladimir because you were rushing around.
The lesson here is when you slow down, you can speed up your trajectory in life, in business, in relationships, in whatever. When you speed up, what happens?
You make mistakes.
You make mistakes and they slow you down.
Yeah.
So what's just happened for me is we had an audio malfunction. We bought these fancy new clip-on mics, which for some reason weren't working, and we couldn't be bothered to figure it out because we wanted to record. And I've gone into my room to get this microphone here, and it's on like a clip-on, mic arm on my desk. Being in the rush that I was in, I forgot that when you unclip or unscrew the microphone, because they're quite weighty, the arm on the desk flings up. So you can probably put two and two together to guess what's happened here. I'm leaning over the thing, unscrewing the microphone, and it's flicked up and hit me in the head. And I'm thinking, oh man, that hurts a little bit. And I thought, let me just look in the mirror, because it'd be quite funny if that's cracked my head open as we're about to record. And I've looked, and I've got a single tear of blood dripping down my head. And I was like, Sachin, we got a problem. I've just cracked my head open.
I thought you were joking.
No, clearly not.
Wow.
So the moral of the story here is that gave us another 15 minutes on top of the time that it's already taken us to set up because of the malfunctions of the audio and blah, blah, blah. And it slowed us down. And also it's put us behind schedule. So the moral of the story, even though it's a small, insignificant thing, is when you're trying to rush things, you often end up taking longer because you make mistakes with stuff like that and it slows you down. And I see this happen quite a lot, by the way. Like when I'm in a rush to go somewhere, if I'm like, oh, I need to, I'll like drop my phone and then like that. Or remember the other day when we were trying to get somewhere really quickly and we had to leave, and I was doing something over there on the bookshelf and I knocked the plant over.
Oh yeah.
And then there was like dirt everywhere. And then I had to take like 10 minutes. We were already running late. So when we were leaving for the intensive, I think one morning, we were already running late. And then I had to spend 10 minutes cleaning up the dirt from the plant and getting the hoover out, making sure the plant was all right, repotting it, blah, blah, blah. Slowed us down. So, moral of the story.
You also see it in business too. Like, oh, I want to get to earning this much money. And if I don't, like, I'm going to try and rush to get there. Like, I'll charge a lot of money and whatever. And then, like, as soon as I get there, then it's when you create a when. When we win is one of the most dangerous things in our lives. Creating a when, like it will be better when, or once I've got this done, then whatever. And creating a when is always a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, for sure. So,
but we're here now.
We're rolling. We're recording. We got told off in the first episode that we recorded by our producer Mick. He told us not to wear any dark colours because there's not enough colour on the set. So what have we both done today? We've both worn all black.
Pretty much all black.
So we've tried to brighten up the set with some nice colourful cushions, which will be getting replaced very soon. And we've added a lovely little light behind Sachin, which we'll talk about another time. Maybe not today. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe not today. It will be matching my hand very soon.
Ooh, yeah, then we can talk about it. So last episode, we did it remotely because you was in Arizona. You were having your session with the ultimate coach. You're back. What happened? What did you get from the session?
Well,
give us the dirt and the good stuff.
There's no dirt, but I'd like to direct your attention to this Conor McGregor action figure, which I bought a little while ago, thinking, who could I give this to? And then I decided to keep it because it's a coaching reference that I'm going to use quite regularly. But I didn't know what I was going to use it for back then. And then it quite tied in quite nicely to my session with the Ultimate Coach, because he referred to me as the ultimate. He referred to me as the Conor McGregor of coaching, and told me to lean into it and be that, because there's only one Conor McGregor out there, and he gets paid between 20 and 100 million per fight. Most UFC fighters are getting paid like under $1 million or $1 million, if they're lucky. It's $1 million. And Conor McGregor here has 2 belts in 2 different weight classes, featherweight and lightweight. And look at him on the back of the box, looking all happy. I love Conor. I think he's done some incredible things in the fight game. And I was saying this to one of my clients the other day. He's very unorthodox. He opened, usually when UFC fighters get into the cage, they'll start off the fight with like feeling each other out, getting a sense of the distance, establishing range, like just being a bit cautious. This guy walks over to the other side of the cage and opens up the fight with a wheel kick, spins around. Like normally you're not going to turn your back to someone in a fight.
Especially not at the start.
Especially not at the start. He's opened up with a spinning wheel kick and starts talking at the guy. And like, it's very unorthodox. And it reminds me a lot of how I coach. I mean, I'm not spinning wheel kicking people in the fucking face.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, give me a couple of years, isn't it? When I'm charging $100,000 a year, that's what you'll get. Come and meet me wherever I am, and I'll wheel kick you. But yeah, basically, like, what I got from my session with Steve was like, be that. Be unorthodox. And I'm already unorthodox. Look at what we're doing. Like nerd life coaches. This is not a like traditional thing. You know, someone told me, I met a comedian once, and he's a comedian turned life coach. Ooh. And I said to him, do you know what, bro? I want to incorporate stand-up comedy into being a coach. He goes, well, you don't want to disrespect the profession. I was like, what? It's to be created as the fuck I want it to be created. I don't care about what the rules are. That's why I don't believe in having qualifications. This stuff is not good for us. It's not good for me. But yeah, basically, like when I had my session with Steve, so I chose to fly to Arizona. You can't do the sessions with him on Zoom or anything, as you know. I flew to Arizona to do my session with him. It was only 2 hours and it was $10,000. And in that time, the first hour, we talked about my tattoos, which I was pissed off about. And I was, in the back of my head, I'm like, I could have done this on the phone. Like, what the fuck? And then the next hour, he showed me a bit around his house. Then we went into his office, and then we talked about a couple of different things. And yeah, I came away from the session more grounded in my greatness. And it sounds funny to say it like that, but that's really what I got out of this. Like really leaning into being this character. Because this is who I want to be. And I've been doing this for 7 years. I've probably coached over 1,000 people by now. Definitely well into the high hundreds. And it's the same with Conor McGregor. What he's done is he's trained for thousands of hours. He's put his blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it's his craft, and he's an excellent martial artist. Okay, maybe not, I don't know about now, but like in his prime, not even back in the day, a few years ago, he was the face of the fight game. That's why they've made these action figures. They don't make these for everyone. They got one for Masvidal, Ngannou, Uriah Faber, Amanda Nunes, Israel Adesanya. They haven't got these for like all the UFC fighters, and they're probably not going to. But they've cemented his legacy in history because of who he has been being. There's there's better fighters than Conor McGregor, but they don't have this kind of status. Yeah. It's the same with me. There's coaches who are better in terms of ability, skill level, whatever. They don't have the kind, I wouldn't say status, but they're not creating what I'm creating. They won't be able to fill a sold out intensive 30-something people in central London. They won't be able to create the kind of impact I'm creating. And it's not this whole thing I got from Steve is not about tooting my own horn and trying to show everyone, yeah, look at me, I'm the Conor McGregor of coaching. It's just about walking with it, being it, knowing it. There's a difference. And I got this from my mentor, Eric Lofholm. Shout out to you. And I know we all love the shout outs. Yeah, I'm a big fan of shout outs. Eric told me to double my fees, which I'm not going to do right now, but it was a fun little thing that he told me. And he also told me that there's a big difference between knowing and belief. Believing something is laced with doubt. Knowing it is quiet. There's zero doubt. Like the sun is out. I know that if I stood in the sun, it would be warm.
Maybe not today, but yeah.
I don't have any doubt about it's warmer in the sun than it is in the shade. But if I have to believe it, it requires something of me to believe it. I have to fucking get out of my doubt to like, oh yeah, do I believe it? And this is why I don't really work with people on believing in themselves. It's not necessary. It's actually getting in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this session with Steve and the Conor McGregor thing, it was really it was eye-opening, and it also showed me like, yes, I really want to go back out there, live in Arizona for a while, work with Steve, continue my journey, and like enjoy it, and not do it in a rushed way where it's like, oh my god, how am I going to get the money? What am I going to do? Oh my god, I don't want to do that.
So how does the Conor McGregor thing, right? You were saying about value. There's only one of him. Like how does that tie into? Like you said, he gets paid 20 million, like way more than most UFC fighters. How does him being the only Conor McGregor aid in that? Because you could say, well, there's only one. Name one of the other people on the back.
Yeah, there's only one Ngannou, there's only one Uriah Faber, there's only one Masvidal, there's only one Nunes, there's only one Adesanya. Yeah, sure. However, they're all unique in their own way, and I guess like you have this with all coaches, you have this with anyone who plays a professional sport. They're all unique. However, only Conor is going to bring to the fight game what Conor is going to bring to the fight game. Only him. It's like with me, like, you know, you enjoy it when I tell my story, right? And that's what I've been leading with. From now on, I just keep telling my story. Because there's only one Sachin. You're never going to hear this fucking story anywhere else. And it's a doozy of a story.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the hot tub in the gym the other day. This guy was minding his own business, watching the football, and I start talking to him. 40 minutes later, the football's finished. We're still talking, sitting in the jacuzzi, looking like prunes. You know, then your hand goes all dead. And he goes, man, I was supposed to get out like half an hour ago, but this conversation has been so interesting. So the value of like, all right, so this is one other way to mention it, right? Let's say there's 3 categories of workers, right? The first category is we'll call them day laborers. So if you drive down the street in America and lots of different states, you'll find like groups of Southern American people looking for construction work. If you go up to them and say, hey, I need a fence building, how much would you charge me? One of them might say $20 an hour, $15 an hour, and they'll outbid each other from 20 down, right? Yeah. Then the next type of worker we could say is people who write code for a living. They get Google, Facebook, wherever, they're paying them about 200 grand a year, let's say roughly, right? And then you got Conor McGregor, 20 to 100 million per fight. 3 different types of people. Now, if the day laborer said, pay me 200 grand and I'll do your fence for you, no. Why? Because someone else will do it cheaper, and they'll build the same fence.
You can get someone to do the same thing basically for a better, cheaper price.
Yeah. Now, if the coder said, I'll write your code, it'd be 20 to 100 million. Fuck off. I'll go Silicon Valley. I'll get a bunch of people wearing hoodies. They'll do it for me. Conor McGregor, if he said it's going to be 100 million, the only reason you'd pay it is because he can only do what he does. And Ngannou is a bit different. Like, he's the most powerful puncher in the world. Only he's starting to draw big crowds because of his story. He used to work in a sand mine. Oof. He looks like a villain in a Marvel movie. He looks like he was made in Photoshop and then printed out and put in real life. Insane. He's enormous. Adesanya's got a big flair for the spotlight and all that. Yeah. Like, they're bringing something to the fight game that no one else is bringing. They're bringing their unique self-expression. And the big lesson I got from this is just keep bringing my unique self-expression. I'm already doing it, but now I want to put it on steroids.
Do you know what? I love that because I was listening to I don't know if it was an interview or something I saw a while ago. It was with The Rock. And he was basically saying the same thing. He's like, when he got his opportunity in the WWE, so basically...
It was WWF back then.
Let's not fuck around. The Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So basically, the short story is that Stone Cold was like the guy, and he basically picked The Rock and said, he's the guy that I want to be the one who who challenges me and us to create like
The rivalry.
a rivalry, yeah. But it wasn't too intense, but it was a rivalry. And The Rock was like, saw the opportunity, and he was like, right, I'm looking at what Stone Cold's doing, the way he's created this whole value around him. He's the only one who walks and talks the way he does. The whole Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass, you know, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so, and all that, right? And all the, you know, walking down the thing with his head bobbling. And
I love the raise some hell, and he gets the beers and smacks them together.
Like, he's the only one doing that, right?
Yeah.
So The Rock was seeing that, and he's like, right, I'm not going to copy what he's doing, because then it's going to be pointless. I'm going to do my version of that. He started doing the people's eyebrow. The, if you smell.
Yeah.
What The Rock is cooking. See the eyebrow? You might not be able to see it because of the plaster. But he created value in him. He was a good wrestler. He had the dramatics. Remember the people's elbow?
Yeah.
It was like he floored someone and he stood over him and mate, there's no way anyone was staying down that long. 30 seconds for him to kick their arms in place. No. You take
one armband
off, whip it into the crowd, do the thing, then he'd run over there, then he'd run over there, and then he'd do like a really dramatic. There's no way someone's staying down that long, but he created that as part of his persona, and that's what created the value. And it's like he is The Rock because of, he's known for what he's known for because of that stuff. He saw the opportunity to, I can make myself into something that no one else is being or creating or, you know, putting themselves across other than Stone Cold. If he's doing it, I can do my version of it. And they were like, that was the top tier era of WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it, was them two. You speak to anyone, it was Rock and Stone Cold, Attitude Era. And it's the same thing as Conor McGregor. It's like, I'm a fighter, I'm a wrestler, I'm a martial artist, but I'm gonna layer on top of that an expression of me. And that's what's gonna be the value.
That's it, man. And I think like this applies to anyone doing anything. You know, like, there's an interesting one. Dating. Anyone can take someone out on a date. Anyone can have sex. Anyone can give you an orgasm if they knew what they were doing, right? But the way they were being when they were doing it is a different story. And like I had a question from someone recently saying there's so much competition out there and women only choose men that are confident and blah blah blah. Like what chance do I have? I'm like, cool. If you're a nerd, yeah, like triple down on being a nerd. That's what we're doing. Yeah, like I'm not into sports like that.
Hey man.
What?
I am.
No, I'm just saying me personally. I like MMA, and I've been watching a bit of the World Cup, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it. I think the finals tomorrow, right? Or is it semi-final?
Sunday.
Whatever. I'm not gonna go out of my way to. If it's on, yeah, I'll watch it. If it's not, I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to be someone else so I can be more attractive to a woman. And I said to this person, look, you like video games. Cool. Why don't you go and look for events where people who like games go and gather? You might meet a woman there. You might not. But do the stuff that you're already interested in and bring yourself to it.
Yeah.
Because that's not that you can't get you anywhere else.
Do you know what? I want to shout someone out who I don't even know,
Sheesh.
but I follow them, right? ElzTheWitch. She's sick, yeah, because she's just basically a nerd. And Els, if you ever see this, I'm sure you won't mind me saying that. I hope not anyway. I'll send it to Austin. Hopefully he can send it to you. Anyway, she's a nerd, right? Because she's a gamer. She loves games. She doesn't like maybe the game, I don't know, like FIFA. And she does like FIFA. But anyway, she grew up playing like The Sims and all these games, right? And she saw an opportunity in the YouTube world to, you've got all of these gamers. You think of gamers, you think like white American dude, like in his headphones, like, hey, Call of Duty, like FIFA, like KSI and all of this, right? She saw an opportunity to represent something that wasn't being represented, which was true to her, which was a girl who's a gamer, who's really into games, but different types of games. She'll make videos about like The Sims. She'll make videos about like, I can't even think of Final Fantasy, which no one else is really talking about right now, because obviously it's like, hasn't been popping for a while. Everyone talks about FIFA and Call of Duty or whatever, right?
Depends
God.
what part of the internet you're
No,
hanging out.
of course, but to a degree.
It's
like,
not as popular.
Generally
Yeah,
speaking, right? And she's made like a way for a name for herself and an opportunity for herself coming from that. She's seen that I can. Yeah, there's all these guys out here doing the gaming thing, but they're not doing it how I can do it, because I'm going to be different. Because first of all, I'm a girl, which a majority, again, generally speaking, of the YouTube gamers aren't girls. Secondly, I'm into different types of games. Yeah, like I'll play a bit of FIFA here and there, but I like different stuff, and I'm going to make content about that, you know? And she's now like doing mad stuff. She's like presenting, she like presents for Man City. She does like stuff on Match of the Day. So she's got herself into the space of presenting, coming through that journey of like, all right, what's something I'm interested in? I'm going to triple down on, like, I like gaming. I'm going to triple down on it. I'm going to make content about that. I'm not going to try and make content that everyone else is making and a business opportunity that everyone else is doing. I'm going to triple down on what's authentic to me. And she's made this mad opportunity for herself. And I rate that a lot, man. There's not a lot of people out there who are doing that.
Yeah.
Everyone else is looking at, oh, let me be like Gary Vee. Let me be like this YouTuber. Let me be like KSI. You can tell my knowledge of like YouTubers stops around there, right? No offense to anyone. Like they're going to try and be those people, but they can't because you're not them. They're doing what's authentic to them. Gary Vee is Gary Vee because I've met him 3 times. That's genuinely what he's like. What he's like on camera is genuinely what he's like. I know people who've worked with KSI and know him fairly well. That's genuinely what he's like. He's not trying to be something else. I've met a lot of people in those worlds, and they're not. Stormzy's not trying to be someone else. He's being him. Rich Free too. He's just being him, and they're tripling down on that. They're not trying to like fit themselves into a bucket.
And that's the ultimate, to me, the ultimate living you can create is being paid for self-expression. And that's there's that saying in it. I don't wake up to a job. I don't wake up to clients. I don't wake up to work. I don't wake up to a business. I wake up to self-expression. And this is a big representation of that. Conor McGregor said in this interview one time, he goes, I don't want to have a job. I want to have a life. And I was like, oh, that one, like, that hit, like, that really hit deep. And watching his rise to success, it just come more and more of him out of him. He talks shit to people in their training. It's not just exclusively for the fight. That's just how he likes to get down. The same with me. I like pushing myself. I am insane. People ask me all the time, oh, but haven't you had enough? No, I'm going to go and put myself in Arizona to be coached by the ultimate coach for at least 6 months at some point. The next year will be like, yeah, I'm going to go and do it. And I one of my clients asked me like, oh, I'm a bit scared about, doing the next round of coaching. I'm like, don't try and be me. I like this. I like being very extreme. I wasn't always like this, but I've come to like it. And that's how I'm evolving as a person. Same with him. He's won 2 fucking UFC belts in 2 different weight classes. That's not for everyone. And when we say it's not for everyone, it doesn't mean, oh, there's some elite club who that is for. It's like, do you want it? Because there's stuff that comes along with it.
Yeah.
So I like this whole thing about like leaning into that, because I want to be greatest of all time status for myself and in the industry that I work in, coaching. So I'm going to do the things that greatest of all time does, which is investing in being coached by the best in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, but look, enough of us talking about it. What do you think about it? Then I'm saying you, not you, Sachin. Like, you who's watching or listening, like, write it in the comment. Like, what are you hearing in this for you? Not about what we're saying, but for you, because that's where the value is. Like, this podcast is, we're extracting wisdom from popular culture, right? So it could be UFC, it could be video games, it could be movies, which we're going to come on to in a minute. It could be anime, it could be whatever. We're extracting wisdom because we've seen something in those things for us, and that they mean something for us. Like, when you're listening to this and watching this, like, hear it for you. What does it mean for you?
I want to show off my socks. And you don't even know who this is, do you?
No, I'm looking at that. I don't know who
Bird
that is.
person from Rick and Morty. If you know, you know. Gang, Rick and Morty gang.
We'll come on to him another day.
Coming onto him. All right.
So we're going to talk about Black Panther because we watched it recently. I think first of all, right, Black Panther. I want to shout this out, right, because this isn't really, we're not going to get into the technicals of it, but I think some of the shots and some of the cinematography and the acting in that film was amazing.
Yep.
Like amazing. Like I'm going to go watch it again because there were so many shots where I just want to like appreciate the shot. Like not just try and be in the story, but just appreciate the visuals, because I was like, wow, man, they really, like Ryan Coogler, the director, really took his effort in like, you know, shooting it well.
Wow, we watch films in a really different way. For me, the only thing I give a shit about is the story.
No, me too. But because I used to work in production, I can appreciate the art of making something. So I just want to shout that out. But yeah, like what I really got from the film was two sick things. The first one is that vengeance and hatred can consume you if you believe that to be your reality.
Ooh.
Oof. Yeah, exactly. So Shuri, she was allowing vengeance and hatred to consume her. She said, I want to burn down the world because I lost my brother and I couldn't do anything about it. It's not fair that he's gone. Spoilers, by the way.
Oh yeah, we forgot to say that. Heavy
It's
spoilers.
been out a while. You should have watched it by now anyway.
And if you're watching this, tough shit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so she's like, I want to burn down the world. And she was consumed by vengeance and hatred. And her reality was, she believed that her reality is, I need to like avenge my brother's death, right? I need to like, fuck all these people. I'm going to take them down because it's not fair that And the other guy, I can't think of his name now, the bad guy, Namor was the same. He was like, you all took, you know, my mum away from me or whatever. You took our land away. I'm going to seek revenge on you, and I'm going to, and I hate everyone, and I hate the people who live on land and not the people who live in the water, my people. I hate everyone outside of my thing. And it was pure vengeance, because he believed that his reality was, because you've done this or because that thing happens, it means that I have to act and be and show up in a certain way. And I think there's a really strong message in that, because the story then becomes about, Shuri, do you wanna live through your vengeance and your hatred, or do you want to choose something else? And there's a really powerful message in that.
I also like I like the villains most of the time. That's who I'm rooting for. I really enjoyed Child of No Love because he's got a good axe to grind. He's pissed off about something that's worth being pissed off about. Yeah, I can get down with that as a decent story. If it was just I'm a big bad guy and I'm gonna kill everyone, it's a bit stupid. But I really enjoyed how he's exercising leadership in his little community, and they're following him for a reason. They're following him because he took a stand for, hey, we're not going to let people fuck with us. The Spanish conquistadors who came to their island, he was like, nah, not having that. Kill all of you lot. Oh, what did that guy say to him? Like, you're cursed or some shit.
Yeah, you're cursed. You're like you're the devil, basically, is what he was saying.
And he's like, yeah, I'm going to lean into that. But that's just a story thing that I liked. But it's pointing us in the direction, or what I got from it was like, you know, when people say, oh, you're such a good person, or you're such a bad person, what do you want to do with that, bro? Yeah, you're gonna make it mean something about you, or you're just gonna whatever. That's your opinion. Because one thing I liked about Namor is like, he's got his own conquest in mind. Like, he's not trying to fit in someone's box of how he should be getting down. Then he was open to a truce and open to learning. And this is a big life lesson for me. I was on a similar revenge path. I didn't quite take it as far as him. I mean, okay, I wanted to, but one of the things I liked about this story is that it's pointing us in the direction of, you know, for you to drop your victimhood requires you getting your ass kicked. I think that's a very important thing. You know, like, victimhood is the story of, I'm so hard done by. Everyone should feel sorry for me. Fucking, the world's so hard. Yeah, it can be. And that's victimhood. And that's, look how powerful Namor was because of victimhood. But even greater things are capable or possible for him when he drops the victimhood.
Yeah.
And that's a big lesson for everyone. Like, vengeance is victimhood. It doesn't matter what it is. those two things are the same. Vengeance and victim are exactly the same. So I liked that part of it, and also the lead character, what's her name?
Shuri.
I liked the way that Killmonger came up to her in her vision, and she didn't want to talk about it, because she didn't like who she was being.
But that's it, right? Because it's the same about what you was just saying about Namor. The vengeance and the hatred was, it's victimhood. She was being a victim to the circumstance that she was probably the only person in the world who could have helped her brother. Shout out to T'Challa, R.I.P. But she couldn't, and she was being a victim to that. She couldn't create the antidote for him. She couldn't save him. She was being a victim to it, and because she was being consumed by the vengeance and the hatred, and she was creating that as a reality. When she went into the ancestral plane, she didn't get to see her ancestors. She got to see Killmonger, and he was sick in the head, and he even said to her, like, you know, do you want to do this like I done it? I came for everyone. Do you want to do it like me? And she didn't want to talk about it because she knew that she did.
And that's a good point, right? And take racists, for example. Are they proud about the way they live? Like, I don't see racists broadcasting hate speech on YouTube, or like live streaming, like, hey, I'm on Instagram, just want to say fuck black people, fuck Chinese people, fuck you. I don't see that very often, if ever.
True.
There's a shame involved in hate. There's a deep shame in it. That's why these people aren't paraded. You know, like, I got a sick story about crazy ex-girlfriend, right? I don't see her like parading around saying, hey, I did do these fucked up things to this guy. Right,
like Facebook posts about it.
Yeah, I don't see like I'm celebrating myself because I hurt this person, I humiliated them. I never see that. A lot of people who've done, like, I've spent time with people who do illegal things for a living. I don't see them like shouting about it. They've got kids. They're trying to do all they can to make sure the kids don't find out.
True.
And when Shuri goes to the like, when she's being with Killmonger, she's seeing herself in him and being like, fuck, I don't want anyone to know that I'm like him.
Yeah, so true. And she learns from it. That's the thing, because at the end of the film, I mean, we spoiled half of the film at this point, so we might as well just spoil the ending. She chooses not to kill Namor.
Yeah.
She chooses to approach it with love. She chooses not to be Killmonger and be more like T'Challa would have, which is loving. He would have given him a pass and said, look, I'm not gonna kill you, but we're gonna make an agreement. We keep to our truce, and we become, you know, partners, whatever you want to call it. And that was sick. And do you know what the other bit that was sick in the film was? It was one scene, right, where Queen Ramona and Shuri are sat at the beach before Namor appears, right? And they're talking about T'Challa and like the remembering him. And Ramona goes like, oh, Ramonda or Ramona? Can't remember now. I lost the plot. Anyway, so she says, yeah, like I can sense him there, like there's a loving energy. And Shuri goes, yeah, that's just a construct of your mind. He's not actually there. It's a construct of your mind. And what she's pointing at is you're remembering him the way that you want to remember him. And then you're finding comfort in that, but it's just your thought. It's just the construct of your mind. It's not actually him. It's your construct of your mind that you're seeing the comfort in. So it's coming from you anyway. And then Queen Ramonda flips it onto Shuri. She goes, what's your construct of your mind saying about him? And it's like, fuck, man, I should have saved him. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was the opposite. And she was, and it ties into the full arc of the story now that I think about it. In like, she was pointing Shuri at the fact, like, you're creating this hatred, this vengeance, this seeking for, I need to avenge my brother, this pain. You're creating that for yourself. It's a construct of your mind that is creating that. That's a subjective reality. It's not the objective reality. The objective reality is neutral, right? And she's painting the picture of hatred and vengeance and and going on this cascade. Does that word work in this sentence? It's not the word I was looking for. Tirade, whatever. She's going on this thing, this journey of like, oh, I need to like, you know, all of this. And what they're pointing at in that scene, and I think really powerfully, is it's just a construct of your mind, as is everything. Everything is a construct of your mind. The way you receive anyone, the way you receive any situation, the way that you respond to anything, You're only responding to your own construct of your mind about that situation, about that given event. That's powerful, man. Because if we all see that, like with truth, capital T truth, how powerful is that?
It reminds me of what Keith was saying yesterday. Like, there is this one truth, which is the way you see your world becomes your world. We could say it like that. And the way you see your world is based on your thought, construct of your mind. And I was having a conversation with someone yesterday after my session with Keith, and she goes...
Keith's our mentor, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
In case anyone doesn't know.
He's not going to be on the podcast anytime soon.
He might be. I doubt it. But
I doubt it. He's having trouble. He's having fucking tech problems as it is.
Internet problems.
So I had a conversation with someone afterwards, and she goes, "Oh, it's crazy. You told me your story and like all of this stuff that's happened to you. How are you just telling me so openly?" I'm like, because it's all thought.
And this is the sick thing, right? Because what he was saying is like we all have the cure, or he was saying the medicine, the cure, something like that. So tie it back into the Shuri thing, because that's the example we're rolling with. If Shuri could see that her seeking for vengeance and the hatred that consuming her was a construct of her mind, and that she didn't need to buy into it, she would be free from the narrative that that's the way that she needed to live her life. That's the medicine.
Bingo. And for me, how it worked was like, so what one of my first ever mentors said, if you're going to choose to believe something, the least you can do before you commit yourself to believing it. So my thing was, I'm going to kill these people so that I feel better about what they did to me. The least you can do is look in the opposite direction. Okay, so not killing them is not going to make me feel better. What would make me feel better? And it's just that, like that, I got to kill them to make me feel better, or like balance the scales, or like to be able to forgive myself. That's a construct that I was living by. It's a thought out of thousands that I've decided is true. And when it comes to stuff like this, like I had another one, like I got to make a certain amount of money to prove to myself that I'm successful, or prove that I'm worthy of some love or praise or whatever. And it's really funny because like none of these things are inherently true, and you get to decide what's true for you. And if oh yeah, when I create £1 million, then I'll be worthy of my own love is true, then I will never get there. And then when I do get there, it will be hollow because it was never true in the first place. The truth is that love and worthiness is already there. You can have it now. And this is another thing I got out of my session with Steve. He said this really funny thing. He goes, if you can go and get me half a cup of love, I'll give you $20 million. He goes, I'll give you 20 million quid. Give me half a cup of, a quarter of a cup of worthiness. I'll give you 20 million quid. I was like, shit, all right. Challenge accepted. He goes, I don't know where they sell this stuff, but I'll give you it. I was like, all right. Yeah. It was funny because like what his point was, it's created. So her vengeance thinking, vengeance isn't out there. You can't go and get it. You have to create it. It has to come from you to be able to for you to be able to have it. I think it's a great, but same with love, same with fear. Anything. All of these things that we think are real or real to us has to be created.
Love that, man.
Sick, innit?
It's so powerful because it's like it shows us the role of choice that we have in the matter. Like again, going back to that scene, right? Queen Ramonda is choosing to feel the love and the comfort in the loss of T'Challa, whereas Shuri was choosing to see the vengeance and the hatred. And it's like the choice is there. Which one do you want to take? Brings us actually swiftly onto the other thing I want to talk about. I'm wearing this t-shirt for a reason. I got it as a birthday present from someone. Shout out Sachin. And it's Goku. Goku, for those of you who don't know, is the main protagonist from Dragon Ball, or the Dragon Ball series, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, blah blah blah. The reason this ties into what we're just saying, because there's two main-ish characters in Dragon Ball. I'm going to say Dragon Ball Z. There's Goku, and swiftly entering the scene is Vegeta. This guy. Vegeta was Goku's nemesis. I don't know how that goes. But the reason I want to use these two as the example, right, is because Goku is very fun-loving. He's very easygoing. He just wants to train and work hard and get stronger because it's fun for him. It's all a game. He's like, oh, right, I defeated this bad guy. Okay, cool. I need to get stronger. Who's next? Who can I fight? And there's like so many instances where he actually makes more trouble for himself because he's just wanting to get stronger. He's always wanting to like push himself beyond his limits. And it's easy for him. Yeah, he trains hard. Yeah, he works hard. But it's almost like an easy run. He's fun loving with it. It's light. It's effortless. And he's always expanding beyond. There he is, Vegeta. He's always expanding beyond his own level, right? Vegeta, on the other hand, he's coming at, there he is. He's coming at it from the other side. He's like, oh, damn you, Goku. You're always stronger than me. You're always better than me. So I need to train really hard so that I can be better than you. And it's a constant like I'm going to train so hard that I'm going to be the strongest person in the world. And I'm going to train at like 20 times the level of gravity. And I'm going to wear all this weighted like training armor. And like Goku doesn't really do any of that. He's just chilling, having fun. Whereas Vegeta's like it's so hard. It's a real like taskmaster. Like whoosh, I'm going to whip myself into getting stronger. And it's, again, you have the choice. Which road do you want to take? Do you want to take the road of like, yeah, you can work hard and get stronger and grow and improve, and it can be effortless and light and fun? Or do you want to be like Goku? Or do you want to be like Vegeta, and it can be like, right, it has to be really hard. I'm going to grow my business and I have to like whip myself into shape, and I have to, like be the real like, what do they call it? Whistleblower for myself. Like, you're not working hard enough. Your breaks mean too long. Why are you having lunch away from your desk? Like all that kind of stuff, And it's like they're two great characters for that. And it's like there's an element of choice in that, like choosing for what you want to be and create and show up in the world in a light and fun way, which is just an authentic way of you expressing yourself, or in a way that's like,
Well, counter to all of that, Vegeta is one of my favorite characters.
Shock.
Yeah, I like the villains, innit? He's got a sick story, man. He's got something to prove. I can definitely relate to that. That's been me for most of my life. I've got something to prove. Look at he looks pissed. You try and make friends with that face. It ain't happening. He's got something on his mind. He's got somewhere to be. He's already great, and he doesn't believe he's enough. How many of us can relate to that? Yeah, that's again, villains are way more relatable than the heroes. Look at Goku, all fun-loving and light and breezy. It makes it look easy, but most of us, we're not like that. Especially in the society we grow up in, there isn't an encouragement to be fun-loving, light and breezy, especially as men. We're encouraged to be tough, and a lot of us come out like this. A lot of us go into adulthood, adulting in the world like this, like, I've got stuff to prove, and I've got to make something of myself, and it's got to be difficult. If you're not working hard, you're not working hard enough. I can definitely relate to all of that. And one of the reasons I love Vegeta so much is because he's a great example of what it means to have a misunderstanding of when.
Yeah.
When I'm stronger than Goku, then da-da-da-da. When I'm the most powerful person in the world, then I'll chill. He's never going to chill, because there's always going to be someone out there better than you. And another thing I love about when Goku and Vegeta fuse, we talked about this in a podcast a while ago. You get the like hyper competitive nature of Vegeta meets the cool, calm and collected of Goku, and it's a very powerful fusion of the two. Because now you got I'm competitive, I want to get better, mixed with but it's all good. Like there's nowhere to get to. It's just let's do it for the fun of doing it. And that's what the direction I'm looking in building my business, creating epic things in the world, being an extraordinary individual. I don't want to do it for an outcome. Yeah, there are fun outcomes like making an anime, making some movies, building a coaching business, being able to fly my mom and dad out to India to have a good time with us. These are great things that can come from it. And it doesn't mean that that's like oh, my life will be better when.
Yeah.
It's just a fun thing that you get to do as well. Like Vegeta, he gets to be Super Saiyan, so he can do stuff that he can do at Super Saiyan. But his misunderstanding is, I need to be Super Saiyan 4, 5, whatever the fuck.
Because it means something about me, or it makes me better, or it makes me something. But here's the thing, like Goku has a bit of that as well, even though he's easygoing with it. He has he's restless with it. He's fun and lighthearted, but he's restless with it. You don't really see him just chilling. He's like, okay, all right, I've beaten this guy. Like,
what's next?
And it's like, that can also be a trap. Like, you can be fun and easygoing, but you could still have the when thing going on. And I think, like you said, the blend is finding that balance between, if my life doesn't, like, this is me genuinely speaking, if my life genuinely does not change outside of how I'm currently living for the rest of my life, can I be at peace and happy with that? My honest, genuine answer to that is yes. However, I would still like to, do things and grow things, and I still have goals, right? But if I don't meet those goals, if someone says to me, Alex, you're not allowed to like achieve anything more outside of the realm of where you're currently, your life trajectory currently is, you cool with that? I'd be a bit pissed, yeah. But also I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with that. Like, I'd be like pretty chill. And it's like, I think for me, that's one of the things that has helped me this year to grow my business so much, because genuinely I'm happy with how I'm living. So I can create from a place of like, I'm happy with how I'm living, yet it would also be fun to like try some of this stuff, like write another book, go to India, grow my business, do 2 retreats next year instead of 1. Like, just a bunch of stuff. It's just, it seems like fun. And I think like, yeah, I can get caught up in this side of it, the Vegeta side sometimes. We all can, right? Like you said. But I'm really finding that balance of the easygoing with the competitiveness it's a really interesting sweet spot. I don't think I've perfected it. Definitely not, as you know. But I'm seeing when I'm in that sweet spot, it's effortless and it's fun. Yet I'm still ambitious and creative and moving my business and my life forward.
I also see that this relates to what we were talking about earlier today about taking pride in our work. Like with Vegeta, it doesn't look like there's any pride in his training. It's never enough.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to do it this way because I know it's going to get me that much stronger.
Yeah, because you're doing it for an outcome, right?
Yeah.
There would be like someone running a business just to make money.
Tell them about the butcher.
Yeah, so I was going to use that as an example. The butcher, I stopped going to the butcher across the street to get steak because they don't take any pride in the fucking work. I don't want to badmouth people here, so I'm not going to name names. But like, when you go in there, there's like, they just seem like they're just there for money. I mean, I'm not a butcher, so I don't know what it's like, but you got to do something because you like it. At least. I do what I do because I love it. There's other stuff I could do for money. Trading stocks is one of them. One of my mates keeps saying to me, let me teach you how to trade. I'm like, no. I want to sit in front of a computer. I don't care if I can make double the money I make now. I'm not sitting in front of a desk, bored out of my face, looking at fucking graphs all day. You know how boring that is? Anyway, when I go to that butcher, that's the impression I get. There's no conversation. There's not pride in the work. It's a bit boring, right? When I go to the other butcher, smile on the face. You all right, bro? How's your day going? Yeah, amazing, man. Thanks for asking. How about you? Yeah, it's cold, isn't it? Yeah. A little bit of small talk. Okay. Oh, have you got this? Yeah, we got some amazing this in stock, sirloin steak. It's amazing. It's really good. They're excited to give it to me, right? And they'll take their time cutting it nicely, talking to you a little bit. Oh, we get this in. This is why it's good. This is what we did for someone else. There's pride in their work. They know that they're providing an excellent service. Whereas the other butcher, don't really hear much from them. It's very much like Vegeta. We're training, we're keeping it serious, we're doing it for the outcome, that's it.
Yeah.
With the other butcher, it's like Goku. Hey, you're right, fun loving, we got plenty on offer here for you, we're really happy with what we're offering, we know it's great, would you like to taste something, whatever, like, I think there's a lesson in that for all of us. If you're coming at things light-hearted, fun, light and breezy, it's all good. You're not concerned with the outcome, you're not trying to hurry up, let's get things done quickly. And I think that's very important for all of us.
And here's the thing, like, I don't eat meat in it, but I know which butcher I'd want to go to. I was even like, I'd be quite interested in trying that. I'm not gonna, but he piqued my interest by the way that he was talking about it. Even after, when we said to them, like, oh man, like, you told him, like, I brought my friend here because I wanted him to experience the way that you guys get down. And the young, because it's a father-son, isn't it? The kid said, oh yeah, you just got to take pride in your work, innit? It was a flippant comment that he said, but it's really true. And then the dad started talking to us. He was like, yeah, and he started explaining this story about he had to get up super early this morning and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I do it because I love it. I didn't want to get up at super early o'clock, but I did it because I love it and I'm passionate about this. And he started explaining about it's grass-fed beef and we didn't ask him to explain any. He didn't say, hey man, like, can you tell me a bit about your beef? He just started saying, look, it's grass-fed, it's good quality, the cut is this, it's
and
that.
The other butcher, it's like trying to get blood from a fucking stone, getting a conversation out of them.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking for, like, oh, everyone needs to operate the way I want them to. It's just good business.
Yeah.
I worked with an artist. We finished working together recently. And she made 10 times the amount of money she made in her whole career with this year that we worked together. And I asked her why, and she goes, I'm just having more conversations with people. I'm being more open with them. That's it. It's not nothing. This isn't rocket science, but it's who you're being is everything. Who those butchers are being across the street, closed off, looks like they're bored, don't really talk that much, whatever. Who they're being, family atmosphere. I think it's a big distinction, especially with Goku. He's all about his family. He's all about Earth. He's all about, we're all one. I want to protect everyone. Who is Vegeta being about? It's me and that's it. Fuck everyone.
He doesn't even care about his family that much. He does slyly, but he doesn't. He's not being that way. He's not really demonstrating it. Whereas Goku is.
And the thing with Vegeta is, like, he's looking out for himself, always interested in what can I get from this? What can I get from this? How am I going to benefit? The only reason he'll help people out is if he can benefit from it. That's not being service driven. And you see that with a lot of coaches. I'll only coach people when I'm getting paid for it. And lo and behold, they very rarely have clients.
Yeah.
Says a lot.
So on that note... What are you getting from this?
Yeah, Chief. Are you getting a lot of Vegeta vibes from your life, or are you getting a lot of Goku, or both? What are you saying, cowboy?
Yeah, and hit us up. Let us know. Like, we create these podcasts because it's fun for us. We're chilling at our place, but we want to create conversations around this stuff because it's been super impactful for us. Like, it's dramatically the stuff that we're seeing and learning from stuff like Vegeta, Goku, Black Panther, blah blah blah, Conor McGregor, like is dramatically increasing our experience of life. I don't know if increasing is the right word, but like our life.
I'd say enriching,
becoming more vibrant. I was gonna say.
That's
more
a good
colourful,
way to say.
Yeah.
don't let the outfits fool you now. They are getting more colourful.
Next episode we're going full colour.
I'm gonna wear a red tracksuit the next one.
But yeah, like, so we wanna know what you're getting from this. Like, hit us up. Like, you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Instagram's probably best. Facebook. We don't know what the handle is for the podcast yet, but we'll put it down here for you, right here. Do you see there? Right.
Isn't it Nerd Life Coaches?
I think it's just Nerd Life Coaches. Yeah, but we're not. Yeah.
I mean, like, we got. Here's an invitation for you. Leave a comment and let us know what insight did you get from this conversation, and what action are you going to take based on that insight. Don't let this just be, oh yeah, that was a cool conversation, and then leave it at that. Action it. Do something with it. It will help you, and it's free.
Love that. And we'll see you for the next episode. But